Hello, Fat Grandma here. I have company this morning. He keeps trying to touch me, but he's on the edge of the bed. Hello. I purposely, from the time I brought him in the room with me, he stays in here all the time. Don't let him get in my lap in the chair. When I'm in my office chair, I don't hold him. I barely pet him because I don't want him to think it's okay to get in my lap or get on the desk or whatever, because I don't need that. Hello. He needs to go look for a toy. Anyway, so he's keeping me company this morning. Um, I have a few things that I'm going to talk about today. Some solds, something that was broken when I got it from the auction house, and what else is I going to talk about? There's a couple of things. Sold. Oh, I got a new bag. I'm not sure which thing I want to talk about first. I might as well address the broken item issue first. So there's a few different auction houses that I tend to look at their auctions because they get some of the older stuff, and every once in a while they'll have newer things too that are still brand new in the package or whatever. But I have gotten some less than stellar items before. The photos don't really show the actual condition of it, and then you see it in person and you're like, oh, not so good. So there was one item that I was bidding on I think it was last weekend, that I really, really, really wanted. And I did a bunch of research, like 2 hours, 3 hours worth of research online, because they had a couple photos on the website, so I could see what it was. There were none for sale anywhere, and somebody outbid me. The website was being stupid, and they had glitches, and I kept trying to bid, and I missed out at the last minute. It closed, and I was very upset. Anyway, I found it on eBay. I'll share it so you guys can see what it was. She's got it listed for over $3,000. The woman that won the item in her auction, or in the auction, and I don't think it's worth that. I know that it's worth more than 500, or I'm pretty sure it's worth more than 500, but I don't think it's worth 3 grand. I don't know how much research she did, and maybe she's just priced high and she'll take an offer, because I do that. I don't know that I would have priced it at $3,000 though. I probably would have priced it around 1,500. I would have started there, and but it is a gorgeous piece. It's Wedgwood. Not, again, I think I've mentioned this before, not all Wedgwood sells well. Some of it isn't worth very much at all, and some pieces it's, but there, this particular item, and I'll leave the photo up here in the corner while I'm talking about it. From the research that I did, there are not very many of them left, like on the planet. So it's worth more, and she may get 3 grand for it, and good for her if she does, because she spent, I think the auction stopped at $65, and I was going to go up to 100, because I really can't afford any more than that right now. I'm still kind of small potatoes, so I can't be dishing out like I did for that tapestry. I spent $100 on it, and it took a while for it to sell, so I was sitting on $100, for like 2 months, 3 months. It took a while. So, but I knew that item was worth a lot, and it was just so pretty, and it's unique, And again, there's not very many of them left on the planet, so hopefully, she does well with it, and good for her, Um, Anyway, I did bid on some other things. One of them was a pickle caster, and I'll post a picture up here of it. I have broken down and ordered, I'm picking up groceries at Walmart this afternoon, and I ordered some silver polishing stuff and a cloth to use because I've gotten a few things now that will look a lot better in photos if I clean them up a little bit before I take the pictures. I took photos of the pickle. It's basically a pickle jar, but it's fancy, and it's quadruple silver plated, which is something. That's the other thing. It's something they used to do instead of making it solid silver because it was more affordable for regular people. Um, a lot of the eBay resellers talk about using Worth Point to figure out how much to ask or sell things for. I signed up for WorthPoint very briefly, just the trial thing. And the things that I was looking for, they didn't have on their website. I couldn't find them. And it, to me, I could not, because I'm still very small, not making that much money, I could not justify spending whatever it's, I think it's $30 a month or something, or maybe it's 20, I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't justify spending that money for a service where when the first few things that I looked for weren't even on their website. Um, and for me, I do spend a lot of time researching things. I'll get a photo of something that's at an auction and I'll put it in Google Lens, and if it doesn't show up, then I start digging, and I spend a lot of time doing research, which I know my time is worth money, but because I don't know a lot, while I'm doing all this research, I'm learning too. So for me, at this point in the game, it's beneficial to do the research and to spend the time because I'm teaching myself about some specific items, or which time period and brand name, like Wedgwood from a certain time period is going to be worth a lot more than some other Wedgwood would be. And I'm getting more of a feel for if something looks a certain way, it's probably worth a higher dollar amount than, what it's just from reading and looking and searching for things and trying to figure out. I'm learning more. So at this juncture, it's beneficial for me to do the research and to spend the time doing the research. Now, a year from now, if I'm doing a lot better and I can afford it and I've learned enough, then, and I'll still be learning stuff. I'll be learning stuff until the day I keel over, but, or at least I hope I will. And, but, until I reach where I'm making enough that I can justify spending that money, it's like the program, the software that everybody uses, the website, whatever. I can't think of the name right now. List Perfectly. A lot of the resellers use that to cross post or cross list, whatever you want to call it. And again, that's something else. That's a frill that I can't justify the expense for. And I know it makes it go a lot faster. But I'm using, right now anyway, I'm using Flip. And I think it's Flip. Yeah, I'm using Flip to do my cross posting. It doesn't have all the frills. You have to go in, you can't, it's not automated, and if you sell something, you have to go to every place you have that item listed and either remove it or mark it as sold or whatever. So it doesn't have the frills that List Perfectly has, but it's free. So for me, at this point in the game, it is a better tool. I'll put a link in the description for the video for Flip, and you have to request, I guess, or I did anyway. I got a link from another reseller video. But they also on Flip have a postmark sharer tool that is also free where it will automate your sharing. And I know Poshmark has now, I guess, made it easier to share all of your listings, but one of the resellers that I watched said that she has to keep scrolling down to select all. It only does like one page at a time, unless you scroll all the way down so that all of your items are showing up. Then you can go back up to the top and hit select all. But even if you do that, it can stop and throw up a captcha. I think that's what it is. That you have to verify that you're still there, or that it's still you, or whatever. So I have not tried the sharer that Flip offers, but it's another tool that they offer, and it's free. So, and I think it might be better because Poshmark's sharing thing that they've got going now, I think, is still in beta, and it's not working great. So, um, I thought I would mention that Flip also has that available. So that's something else that you guys can maybe look at if you're new like me. Anyway, back to the auction thing. I got the pickle caster because I missed out on the one dish, or the one item that was really amazing. What am I hearing? Something, I don't know if my cat is up on stuff that he's not supposed to be on. He gets into things every once in a while and then gets yelled at. Um, and I keep hearing a noise over on this side of the room. I don't know if he's into something. He's gonna get in trouble if he is. Anyway, this vase, whatever, pitcher, it's a pitcher. Um, they had photos of it on the auction website. I went up to $30 on this thing, and I shouldn't have, I spent more than I really kind of wanted to, but I really wanted this, and I thought, well, I'll probably get at least 50 for it, but I got it home, and I was going to take photos. This is, I'd gotten to the point where I was going to take photos of the things that I'd picked up, and noticed this giant crack on the front of it. I don't know if you guys are even going to be able to see it. It's right there. And it goes all the way down into the bottom down here, and comes around the other side to there. It's an insane crack. And you really can't feel it. You feel it just a little bit on the outside here, but I think all it's going to take is for another piece of glass to tap this, and the whole thing would just break. Whoever took the photos of this did a really crappy job, and you couldn't see, like right now you really can't, you can sort of see the crack in the bottom, but the way I'll post some of the photos that she took up here in the corner, so you can see that you really couldn't see the crack from the angles that she took the photos. She took photos from this side, and she took one from the front, but you couldn't see it, and then she did not take a photo from this side. Had she, I would have seen this. It's just, and I don't know if the photographer saw the crack and avoided taking a photo of it or what, but I left kind of I wasn't scathing, but I was like, I left a review on their Facebook page, and I said, if you're going to buy things from this auction house, go in and look at stuff in person, because the photos are not showing damage. And because I'd gotten a couple of other things from them that I didn't see the damage. It wasn't this bad. This is really bad. But I'd gotten a couple of other items. Anyway, I left the review, and I got a phone call last night at like 6:30 in the evening. Was the owner, and she said she wanted to reimburse me for the vase, or the pitcher. I don't know why I keep calling it a vase. Anyway, I'm going to pause this. I just got an email that I need to look at. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I saw an email pop up. I normally would ignore them, but it was actually about that piece that I told you guys about that I bid on and I lost it. And I wrote to the woman that listed it and sent her the links for the information that I found about it. I did all the research and I didn't get it, but I don't know if she did the same amount of research, so I thought I would share it with her. And the message that she just sent me back, I don't think she did. because she said she was going to look at the websites. So, you know, it'll help her. If she doesn't know that information, she will. So, anyway, as far as the picture goes, I'm getting my money back for it on Tuesday. I have to go back in because there's another item that I bid on, and I'll share a photo of it. It's a green art glass dish that's kind of a weird shape. But it's got silver running through it, and it's like I don't even know how to describe it. You'll see the photo of it. Anyway, when I went to pick everything up, I got all my stuff carefully packed and got it out to the car. And this particular auction house is a long drive for me. It's kind of a day trip. Not really, but it feels like that because it's kind of far. And this is one thing that when I go to this particular auction house, I will stop at Starbucks because it's like my treat for the drive or whatever. Um, but I got about 2/3 of the way home. My air conditioning went out in my car that morning. So I was dying because it was over 100 and it's been very humid. And I got about 2/3 of the way home and I was going through my list of things that I picked up in my head and I was like, where's that green dish? So I pulled into a Walmart parking lot and double checked and I did not get the green dish. So I called them immediately and I said, look, there's something else that is supposed to be in my stuff and it's not. We missed it. Can you see if you still have it there? And please let it be there. And it was still there. So she put it in the back for me. So I mentioned that to the owner. I told her I'll be in on Tuesday to pick that up. And because they're only open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for picking things up. In the meantime, there's another auction this weekend. That they're having, and there's a couple things that I'm going to bid on. So if I get those, I'll pick them up while I'm there too. But while I'm there, I'm going to take this picture back, and she's going to refund me the $30 that I spent on it. So that made me feel better about working with them and buying from them. If I'm going solely on the photos that they have on the website and I pick something up, you trust me, I'm going to be going over everything with a fine-tooth comb from here on out. If it's something that's a breakable, it's going to get checked before I walk out the door, because if it's broken or chipped and that was not shown in the photos, I'm going to get my money back. And at least I know she's willing to do that, so that makes me feel better about dealing with them. Nobody wants to have to write things off or throw money away. So anyway, that's that for the stuff that I bought, and again, I'll put a couple pictures up in the corner. Stuff that has sold since my last video, or 2 videos ago, I guess. I don't remember when, I think it was 10 days ago was the last time I told you about solds that I had. I can't remember. Anyway, the first item was a Nightmare Before Christmas tree, and it's a little baby Christmas tree, and Zero sits on top of it. I'll post a photo. He's the tree topper, and I listed it for $19.99, and I got full price for it. So that's already been delivered, I believe. And the next item was a Nightmare Before Christmas magnetic picture frame. And it still had the sticker, the price sticker on the back of it. And I think I paid, what did I pay for it? I paid $6 for it back in, I don't even know. One of the times that I went to Disneyland. It's been a while. Anyway, I sold it for $14.99 plus shipping. Everything's plus shipping. I don't include shipping on, I think I've got 2 listings maybe that the shipping's included. So that sold for $14.99. And then the next item was a Royal Albert bone china saucer. There was no teacup with it, and I think I picked this up at the Animal Rescue TNR place and their thrift store. But it was just really pretty, and I thought somebody's going to want this. So I sold that for $9.99 plus shipping. I think I had it listed for a couple months. It was from the 1940s. And again, research, you know. The next item I sold was a ceramic tile trivet. Basically a coaster. It had cork on the back. I bought it. I've got an itchy back today for some reason. Um, I bought it at a craft fair in Payson, Arizona, 4 years ago, maybe. Um, and it's just a white square trivet. I'll post a photo. And it's got a silhouette of Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. It says simply meant to be, or we're simply meant to be on the bottom of it. And it has the little display stand that it goes on, but it could also be used for a coaster if you wanted to do that. Since I'm getting rid of all of my things because I don't want to display stuff anymore, I threw this in there, but I listed it different because I didn't want to get in trouble for copyright infringement, because this is not a Disney produced item. This is something that was handmade by someone, and it felt like a vinyl sticker that was attached to this white tile. And so the black part is vinyl sticker, and it's just a white tile. It's, you know, nothing fancy, but it's nice. It's a nice item. And I sold that for $9.99 plus shipping. And I think I paid $5 for it when I bought it 3 or 4 years ago. So made my money back, plus, you know, some change. The next thing I sold was a little picture that was hand painted by someone. It was for a historical farm souvenir. It was a historical farm souvenir creamer, Clinchfield Artware, Tipton Haynes Historical. And so it wasn't to look at, it wasn't anything super fancy or whatever. I think I paid $1 for it at the thrift store, and I sold it for 10 plus shipping. And I might have spent $2 on it, but I think it was $1. And again, I'll post a photo up here. It's nothing, but the person's happy with it. You know, they must live back there, and you know, so they know about this location or whatever. I got good feedback on it, so you know, yay. The next item that has sold, or items, it was a set of 4 Wedgwood Jasperware, and it's black. It was black and white, and it's a bridge set. And the thing that made this a little bit more valuable, this set, is the fact that it's black and white. There are a lot of blue and a couple of other colors. This set, you know, you can find all the pieces in other colors, but the black and white set is a little less common. So this set sold for $50. I think I paid $2 or $3 a piece for these dishes, but again, I go on half off day, so you know that I think was the sticker price. So I don't have a lot into this, maybe $6, I'm guessing at the most, and I sold them for 50 plus shipping. So that was a good sale. I sold one of my fairies, and these have been selling slowly but surely. And I don't remember if I sold her for the asking price or if I took an offer. I think I got full price for her. So she was $59.95 plus shipping. And when I bought these Bubble Rider fairies, I cannot remember what website I ordered them through, but I think I paid $35 a piece for them. And I had them on display in my place for a few years. So I got my time out of them. I got to enjoy them. For me, they did nothing but collect dust, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to have to dust things. I don't want a bunch of knickknacks sitting around. Even photo frames that hang on the wall get dust on the top of them, and I don't know. I mean, when I do move from here at some point, I've got to get out of here. It's driving me crazy. But when I do move, I will put some photos up, you know, with my granddaughter and you know, things like that. But I'm not going to go overboard like I have in the past because it's easier to move if you don't have to pull things off of walls and clean up pack a bunch of knickknacks. And it's, you know, and with the way things have been the past few years for me, I hate moving and I don't want to deal with it. So it was time to get rid of the fairies. And anyway, so she sold for almost $60 plus shipping. So that was a good sale. I sold, and this was just, I listed this item. Again, I'll post a photo. It was Skechers promo stuff that I got because I had purchased a few pairs of Skechers shoes, and I was getting points and things. And so with the last pair of shoes that I got from them, they sent me this swag, and it was a bag, a kind of like it's a backpack, but it's a drawstring at the top, and it's nothing fancy. And then a phone or tablet stand, and it's adjustable, and it's just a little piece of plastic thing that you put together, and you know, nothing fancy. But I sold, and it was free. This stuff was free. I got it for free with my shoes, and I sold that for $6.99 plus shipping. And then the last item on eBay, the last sale I've had on eBay was a haunted mansion door knocker that lights up and makes a scary sound. And I found this at the 99-cent only store. I think I paid, this was a stupid purchase. This was a bad purchase. When I checked it on the eBay app, there were a few sold, and there weren't very many listed. And so I went ahead and I only bought one, thankfully. I was going to buy a few of them, but I was like, you know, I don't know how popular this thing's going to be. So I only bought one, and I'm glad because I think I paid 5 or 6 for it, and I only sold it for 10 plus shipping. But at least I got my money back. So, you know, that's fine. I'm happy with that. The one thing that I sold on Poshmark, I think there's only been one sale on Poshmark. I'm going to double check. Yeah, since the last time I sold anything on Poshmark, I've had one sale. And it was one of the dishes that was in with the 2 videos ago. I told you guys about a lot that I purchased from the auction place, one of the auction houses. And there was a Limoges, a weird shaped Limoges dish in the lot, and then there were some other dishes. And this one was a Jean Puy Limoges plate, and again, I've butchered the name, I'm sure. But it sold for 65. So she may have made me an offer. I think I had it listed for more than that, but I believe it sold for 65. So, you know, less the fee for Poshmark. I can't remember how much I got for it in the end. I'm going to look and see if I can find out real quick. Okay, I made $52 on that. And I had already paid for that whole lot with the sale of that other Limoges item. So, plus some. So I was in the green already on this particular. So this was all profit, the $52, which is great. It was a really good sale. I was very pleased with it. I may have been able to get more for it, but I'm happy because I made my money back. I made a profit, and I'm good, you know. So that's it for my sales. Let's see, I already talked to you guys about Flip, and I talked to you about WorthPoint. I'm not doing WorthPoint or List Perfectly at this point, but sometime in the future I probably will if I start to get busier and it just makes my life easier. Right now I'm not that busy. I can spend time researching, I can spend time listing things, you know. When I move and I have more room and I have more inventory, and I can expand a little bit, then things will probably pick up and I will need those other tools, you know, and that's fine. Oh, the one other thing I was going to tell you guys about, I bid on a Coach bag. Normally, I don't do the handbags because the auction places don't always, most of the time, they don't authenticate items, and this wasn't an authentic, or it wasn't authenticated. And I thought, well, I'll bid on it, and I bid $5 because that's the starting bid, and somebody else bid 10, and I thought, okay, I'll go up to 15, and then that's it, because there were some wallets in the same auction with this Coach bag, and I'm going to grab the bag. So I got it for $15. This bag sold new for $300, or around 300. Um, it is in fantastic condition, and I checked all the things that you look for to see if it could possibly be a fake, and I do not think it is. I'm 99% sure this is authentic. The inside tag, I can't find it right now. Where is it? Well, okay. I'm not going to show you guys. It's buried in here, and I already put stuff in this. I can't decide if I'm going to sell it or not. I've been using it for a few days. I really like it, but I may end up selling it. I should be able to get maybe 150 for it. That would be the high end price that I would get for it, but I paid 15, so I could probably easily get $100 for this bag. There's no, there's nothing wrong with it. If I saw this hanging on a rack in the store or sitting on a display and it had tags on it, I would think it was new. Um, anyway, all the rivets are evenly spaced. All of the seams are even. Everything's it's very nicely done, and the tag that's on the inside of the bag has a legit serial number on it. Um, the zippers have stoppers. I don't know how to describe this, but that's one of the things you can look for with a Coach bag. They always put a stopper so that the zipper doesn't run into that little metal piece at the end. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. There's the zipper, and there's the stopper at the end of the zipper where it opens. So when you open the zipper, when you open the compartment, there's a stopper, and the forgeries don't usually put a stopper on their bags. So that's another thing you can look for with the Coach bags. The stoppers, the seams, um, if the stitching is even and everything's centered and lined up on an authentic Coach bag. And this one, if this is a forgery or a fake or whatever you want to call it, it's a really good one because it's even got this little tag on it still. And again, I paid $15 for this, so I'm torn. My friends said I should keep it, but the other thing that happened this week was the air conditioning went out in my car, and I had to take it in. Oh, good. My phone's telling me I have to take my medication. Sorry about that. Anyway, I took the car in, and it was less than I thought it was going to be. The mechanic refilled my Freon, and then he looked for the leak, and he couldn't find one. So I have to keep an eye on it. If it starts blowing air that's not quite as cold, I need to take it in right away so he can try to figure out, because there was no Freon in it at all when I took it in. And it had completely leaked out. And again, he couldn't find the leak. So it ended up costing me like $75 to get the car fixed, to get my AC fixed. If it had happened 2 months from now, I would have just waited and, taken my time getting it worked on, because it's not too hot. Once October rolls around, you can usually drive and you don't die in the car. But right now, it's so friggin' hot outside that I have to have my air conditioning, especially if I'm running to the post office a couple times a week, which I have been doing because I've actually had some sales. So, I haven't had a ton of sales. I think that was what I had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 10 sales. since the last sales video that I did, which I think was 10 days ago. So, things have picked up a tiny bit, but they were good sales, most of them. They were decent sales. So that's always a plus. It wasn't like just a couple dollars profit on most of the things. A couple of things were, but some of the items I made decent money on, after my fees and stuff, not so much. But, it's most of it's going back into getting more stuff. So, it's not like I have money to blow because I'm getting sales, but I'm still building up my inventory and trying to be a little pickier now with the things that I'm getting than I was to start off with. And I've still got some stuff in, I think, 3 boxes that I purchased a couple months ago when I was going out sourcing because I was frantic because summer was coming and I knew I wasn't really going to be able to go out and do very much. And so I bought things and I need to get those items listed. So that's stuff that I'm going to have to use as filler in between listing the things that I'm picking up at the auctions if I find stuff. Sometimes you don't find anything that you want, and I'll go through and click on watch. If you go to the auction websites, you know what I'm talking about, and you can watch the auction or you can place a bid early. You don't have to do the bidding live all the time, but I'll click on watch on things that I'm sort of interested in, and I'll go through and just click on watch on all of them, and I'll look to see what some of them are, I'll look to see what they're worth and, like what my potential profit might be. Then once I'm done going through each auction and clicking the watch thing, I go to my watch list, and then I look at everything and I figure out which stuff I'm really not that interested in, and I unwatch those items. So then I'm left with a smaller amount, usually 4 or 5 lots of things that that I'm really going to keep an eye on. And then I decide how much I'm willing to spend on those lots, and I make a note for myself because they have a note place on HiBid where you can put a note in, and which is nice. So then I can kind of keep an eye on how much I'm spending on something because I don't want to go overboard like it did on that picture that's broken. But at least I'm going to get my money back on that. So I'm very happy about that. And I will let you guys know in the next video if I remember how that transaction went when I go in. But she also said when I come in, I can look at the next week's auction items ahead of time there in the store and preview stuff. And I may just take photos of some things while I'm there. So that I know what condition the item is actually in before I bid on it, and then I can compare when I go to pick it up, because if they're moving stuff around, after you bid on it, it could get broken, if somebody's not careful. So anyway, this might be my shortest video yet, and I tried to stay on topic. I know I strayed off a few times, but I'm trying to get better with that. My brain is all over the place, so I go off on tangents. I eventually make my way back, but I know it's probably frustrating for you guys watching, the few people that are watching, because I get distracted very easily, and I'm off on another thing, and then I work my way back, but by the time I do that, you're probably sleeping. So trying to get better. And anyway, it's Saturday, and I've got one auction tomorrow and one on Monday that I've got some things that I'm interested in. So we'll see how those go. And then on Tuesday, drive out to Youngtown again and return the picture. And so I've got my next few days I've got things to do. Oh, I'm picking up groceries this afternoon. So I'll have my silver polish, and I'll be able to clean up the pickle. Now I can't, I had a brain fart. The pickle thing that I got, that I took pictures of already, and I'm going to have to retake the photos after I clean it up, polish it, So All right, you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.